infiltrated pirate groups, dismantled rebel factions, and collected information on perilous foes. Like a ghost, he created disorder behind him. To the universe, he became a legend, an unstoppable power that functioned on behalf of the world government. To the elders, he was their finest achievement. Yet hidden deep inside, beneath the layers of control and conditioning, the essence of the boy who once envisioned freedom remained. Luffy's disappearance broke Garp's normally lighthearted attitude. He searched the oceans, leveraging his status as a marine hero to pursue every clue, but his efforts were constantly hindered by insufficient evidence or interference from the world government. As time passed, he grew increasingly strict and inflexible, dedicating himself fully to his responsibilities as a marine. Although Garp remained loyal to the Navy, his suspicion of the world government increased. He sensed that they were involved in Luffy's disappearance, but he was unable to take action without proof. This frustration made him more resolute, transforming him into a more distant person. His connection with Ace deteriorated, leading Garp to immerse himself in training new recruits to channel his anger and sorrow. Dragon was the first to openly suspect the world government's involvement in Luffy's disappearance. His mistrust of the elders and their regime turned into quiet fury as he connected the dots. Though he couldn't act openly, Dragon began mobilizing the revolutionary army on an unprecedented scale. Dragon's efforts to uncover the truth about Luffy became part of his broader mission to dismantle the world government. The incident strengthened his resolve, and his name became synonymous with rebellion. While Dragon rarely spoke of Luffy, those close to him noticed his silent grief. He knew that one day he would cross paths with his son again, but he feared what the world government had done to him in the meantime. Just as before, Sabo lost his memory after his traumatic encounter with the celestial dragon. With no recollection of his brothers, Sabo was taken in by the revolutionary army. Under Dragon's guidance, he rose through the ranks, his skills and determination making him a formidable fighter. Ace was heartbroken at Luffy's disappearance, but continued to pursue his dreams. Much like the original timeline, he joined up with the Whitebeard pirates and became renowned throughout the world. Shanks was one of the few who pieced together the truth about Luffy's disappearance. His encounters with the world government and its agents confirmed his suspicions. They had taken Luffy, and whatever they were planning involved the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Fueled by anger and a sense of responsibility, Shanks began amassing power. He expanded his influence and became one of the 4 emperors of the sea. Shanks became a force to be reckoned with, his every move carefully calculated to challenge the world government without provoking open war. Though he never spoke of Luffy to his crew, his actions were guided by the hope of one day rescuing the boy who had inherited his hat. As time passed, Ace was captured by the Marines due to Blackbeard's betrayal. Much like the original timeline, the Marines began amassing their forces at Marineford, while Whitebeard headed out to commence his assault. The Marineford War began similarly, with Whitebeard and his crew launching an all-out attack to rescue Ace from his impending execution. The Marines stood united, ready to defend the execution platform and eliminate the threat of the Whitebeard pirates. However, this time, there was an additional element. Luffy, the 5 elders, had sent him undercover with the mission to ensure Ace's execution. No one outside the highest ranks of the world government knew of Luffy's presence, and his reputation as their weapon remained a well-guarded secret. As the war raged, Garp sat on the execution platform, a storm of emotions brewing within him. When Ace was finally brought to the platform and the executioners raised their weapons, something inside Garp broke. He leaped into action, knocking the executioners aside and declaring that he would not let his grandson die. The Marines, stunned by the hero's betrayal, hesitated. It was at that moment that Luffy revealed himself. Emerging from the shadows, Luffy confronted Garp, his face cold and devoid of recognition. To Garp, however, the sight of his grandson standing in front of him as an unfeeling weapon was a devastating blow. Luffy and Garp clashed in a ferocious battle, the air crackling with the power of their haki. Garp immediately recognized Luffy's strength, noticing how much he had grown in the years since his disappearance. But what struck Garp even more was the lack of recognition in Luffy's eyes. As they fought, Garp called out to him, pleading for him to remember who he was. Luffy, however, felt nothing but a strange, unfamiliar ache in his chest. Despite the cold efficiency the elders had instilled in him, something about Garp's words made him hesitate. Still, he pressed on, determined to fulfill his mission. Garp was torn and struggled to fight back with full force, and the hesitation gave Luffy the upper hand. But the internal conflict within him grew stronger with every passing moment. Deciding that fighting Garp wasn't worth the delay, Luffy quickly disengaged and made his way toward the execution platform. Ace, watching the events unfold, was stunned to see Luffy standing before him. He yelled out to Luffy, his happiness overtaking him. But Luffy didn't respond as a brother. He approached the platform, ready to deliver the final blow. Ace tried to reach out to him, insisting that they were brothers. But Luffy dismissed his words as desperate attempts to manipulate him. Ace, realizing the depth of the world government's hold on Luffy, smiled sadly. He told Luffy that if he was meant to die, then it would rather be at the hands of the brother he had failed. With